for the four of us to go on the Israel trip with Beit Tehila in 2018, since last year. We did not have money saved for one of us to go, much less four. Well, I was laid off in March, so I don't know how God was going to do this, but if he wanted us in the land, he would have to provide. So that was our prayer. So I've always heard you have to go to Israel. Well, I'm here to say that you have to go to Israel. Yes. The Bible really comes to life. It's not just a book that we pick up and read, but it really comes to life. You could see the Western Wall, and you could see, the Jewish people, their struggles. And I know now why you pray for the peace of Jerusalem, because there's so much, there's just the strongholds. You feel it when you go there. See, during our Israel meetings, we were told to pray, to be in prayer, to go prayed up. Well, I decided that I was going to pack and clean my house, and I could pray in Israel. Well, when I got to Jerusalem, the struggle. I had everything. I had all my clothes, and I had everything I needed, but I wasn't prayed up. So when you go, and when you don't go, you really need to be praying for the peace of Jerusalem. It's so important. So we could get the pictures up. I thought I was going to be romanced in the land, and I had this perfect picture, but instead God showed me what was inside of me. So that was interesting. So this is the morning before we left. I wanted to pack my dog. She climbed in the suitcase, so we missed her dearly. And then, you want to go? Oh, here. So this is the first time that my girls have ever been on a plane. This is just traveling, all of us traveling in the airport. Oh, okay. That's when we got to Israel.
You could talk about your trip, yeah.
Wait, I need my paper.
Okay.
It was my first time being on a plane. The first day we went to Hezekiah's tunnel. It was so fun, much fun. We went to the Holocaust Remembrance, but I was not allowed to go inside. Miss Kathy stayed with me. We went to the Holocaust Children Memorial, and we went to the train, which was called the Ghetto. We went to a lot of places. I enjoyed spending time with Miss Kathy. She was a lot of fun. I love riding on the camel. I went to the tomb where Jesus was placed. The light show was cool. The Galilee boat ride was cool too. When I got baptized, I felt like I died and rose with no sins. I hope I can go to Israel again.
So this is the camel ride. This is where we were at Genesis Land, and it was an amazing experience. However, I did not like the camel ride. So how many of you love Bill Carter? Yes. So I loved him too until he said, look at it this way. If one falls, they all fall because they're tied together. So that made me feel very secure. So here's my, Nehemiah's awesome at taking videos. So here's, we made matzah, flatbreads, pitas. We made pitas from scratch, so that was really cool. We put it on the fire, and they were so delicious. But let's see, there's a video coming up. This is Genesis Land. It was so beautiful to look down, but I think here's the video. There's sound to it.
Alright. Good boy.
They're not going down yet. You don't have to.
Girl, I don't know what he's gonna do.
Please.
Ellie's pooping. I'm scared. I'm so scared. Yeah, so I don't like camels. Thank you. Mom, are you gonna ride anymore? No. Okay. Let's see. That's a suka. Oh, this was really awesome. We got to go to the embassy, so that was really cool. Oh, there's another camel following me around. He was nibbling on my ear, so.
This was the Garden Tomb Geshmani.
And this was at the light show with our tour guide. That's the city of David. That's one of the IDF soldiers. This is, if you listen to the podcast, Jeremy Campbell, this is a place of worship. They're still not done, but we got to worship and pray there, so that was very special. The bus. Oh, this, we got to plant trees. We were the first tour company with Lipkin Tours to plant trees. There's Joanne. We were told we were going to Atiles, so we dressed in skirts, and then we were planting, so that was fun. This was Joshua's altar, so this was the top. That was nice. That was special. Oh, Atiles with Carolyn. We found her there. That was the Mediterranean Sea. I know. I wanted to taste what an olive off the tree. I don't suggest it. It does not taste very good. These are places that they're discovering. It was Magdalene's? Yeah. That was a synagogue. And this was the Jesus boat on the Galilee. Hannah was worshiping. That was very special. It's not clicking. Okay, there. And that was still the Galilee. Okay, so this was one of my favorite parts. This is where Gabriela got baptized in the Jordan. So there's a video. She was so excited.
We baptized Gabriela in the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. In Yeshua's name.
So we missed our mikvah here because Pastor Nick had a tree in his house. So we got to do it in Israel. So that was really special. This was at, what was that place? Roman ruins. Okay. So this is where, yes, that. And I loved Bill. Wherever he went, he took his shofar and he blew it. People would look at him, but it was so awesome because, blowing the shofar in the land, that was special. And where do you go to eat when you go to Israel? We go to McDonald's. I believe this was the last night, and the young people were playing games. This was our bus driver, Yigal. and Hanok. Oh, Hanok. It was hats and water, Bet Tehila. Bet Tehila, let's have a count. That's what I heard from him the whole trip. But, he has so much knowledge. And the day he was not with us, I got sick because I didn't drink water. So I was very thankful for him. He's special. This is Moshe, another tour guide. Bus driver, sorry. And this was the last picture I took, the plane landing in Jersey. But, God showed me how spoiled we are. At Hiovel, they don't have much. And they're doing such a great work. And here we're so spoiled, and we don't serve, So I just pray that God moves on us to do more for his kingdom. Because it's not about what we have. It's about what we have inside of us to give to others. I expected God to speak to me and tell me great things, but he didn't. He showed me how selfish we are and how when we purchase land, it's our land. But when they purchase land, it's not theirs. They could come and be ambushed at any time. But the love for the Lord is so strong. And they just press on. And that's how we need to be. Our love for the Lord has to be so strong that we know that we're saved. That we know that he has put great things in us to serve him, to do things for his kingdom. Thank you. I forgot. So I just, Gush Etzion, that was mind-blowing. Just the way they came and they got ambushed, and now they're back again. And they could be ambushed at any time, but they still stand strong for the Lord. So I just encourage you guys, to pray to go to the land. It might not be your desire because it wasn't mine. But now I want to go again, so we're accepting donations. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I want to go again and serve the people. It was not a vacation. I've never walked and sweat so much in my life, but it was so worth it. It was worth it. I will be prayed up this time. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for what I have. And we don't need much to live in this world. We really don't.
My favorite part of Israel was the Holocaust Memorial, seeing all the things that happened to them, and one of the parts there was all the children's shoes, and that touched me the most because seeing how many children died.
I didn't think this was going to be really emotional. Never in history, right, has there been a people more persecuted. This is the second time I've been to Israel, and, I had prayed that my family would be able to go, and this was an amazing trip that they went, and but I just want to go back to the people, From the beginning, the devil had an assignment against the Jewish people in the land. From the garden, throughout history, throughout all the persecution by the Catholic Church, Protestants, Hitler, even the United States at one time turned their back on them. And to go back into the land and to see a people who will persevere and they really don't have a chip on their shoulder of what's happened to them. They just are persevering. They're just going forward. And this trip kind of awoke in me and said, you know what, let's read a little bit more about what happened to the Jewish people. If anything, it'll help me tell other people. I hear all the time, well, there's been other groups that were slaves and minorities, and I understand that, and I'm very sympathetic to that. But this people, from the beginning of time. And for me, going to Israel was like, it was kind of weird in the beginning. I was kind of numb. First, I wanted to buy a tractor with the money for my land. And Sarah wanted to go to Israel. And I was like, okay, we'll go to Israel. I have to be obedient. I don't know, obedient to Sarah or to God. I didn't know which one, but I was obedient. But, I went to Israel, and I was just praying, God, you should just speak to me. What am I doing here again? I mean, I don't know. I was in a different a frame of mind. I needed a mikveh, and I got not only did I get the mikveh from the water, but I got a mikveh from the land. It's just like my eyes were open again. My spirit was renewed. God spoke to me, and I had spoken to, prayed to God before I left. And everything I asked God, somebody told me verbatim. And I was like really amazed. Roy Kendall, the first thing, we met him at the hotel, the first thing he said to me was, "You're your own worst enemy." And I was like, oh my God. And this lady who was on the trip with us, she spoke words over me, and the same words that I had asked God over, previously. I have been called. I've been running away from the calling, and I just, God reminded me, about my calling. God reminded me about my heart, about so many things, And then he gave me the opportunity to baptize Gabby, and that I baptized Ariana in Thomaston, Georgia, at Be in Health, and that's a momentous place for me, And then God gave me the opportunity to baptize Gooby, and it was like catapulting me into the ministry, with my own daughter, and it meant so much to me that it was my own little girl. And then I don't know if. I just going to show you a few pictures, but immediately after I baptized Gooby, a young man stepped down and asked to be baptized, and that was a pretty amazing experience. To baptize somebody, it was an honor and it was a privilege. Words can't even explain to do something like that for the Father. It wasn't for me, it wasn't for anybody, but the Father asked me to do it, and I was obedient. These are some pictures I took of the land. The pictures are nice and everything, but it was more about connecting with the land. This is the young man that I guess he came from Turkey, and all he kept saying was that Jesus saved his family's life. That's all he would say to me. And so it was an awesome experience. The Holy Spirit was there. Those waves in the water was the Holy Spirit. He was trembling. He was shaking. And then immediately after baptizing him, Larissa's aunt, I forgot her name, Yolanda, came down and said she wanted to be baptized. So I ended up baptizing 3 people, right? And, but, going back, it wasn't about the sights. It wasn't about, it was about connecting with that land. It was connecting with God. It was connecting with the people. A few times they were a little bit rude to us, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter because I was connecting them with them. I was being obedient. I'm part of Abraham's seed, right? So I had the same right to be there, but I also had to be obedient and embrace them. and I had to honor them. And that's what it's all about. It's not about the trip. It's not about the sights. Yes, you want, those are bonuses, but it's about being obedient. At the end of the day, it's obedience. Obedience to God about going to the land. Obedience to God about honoring the Jews. Obedience to God about serving the Jews. That's what it's all about. And, I ask God for forgiveness for my selfishness. I still want a tractor. But at the end of the day, I got so much more. I was blessed, I was blessed. I mean, my family's not the same. Sure, we struggle with the daily things that everybody struggles here, right? But we're never going to be the same. And our heart's desire is to go back to the land. Our heart's desire is to connect with the people, to serve the people. And, I know a pastor talks about one day about doing some kind of home or religious home there where we could rotate out. Pastor, we'll be the first family to go, honestly. I hope that I'm in a financial situation where I'm retired by then and I could say, we'll go. Or, let me take that back. God will direct me, but you know what I'm saying. But, I mean, it was such a wonderful experience. Words cannot explain, and I'm going to say, I'm Puerto Rican. When I land on Puerto Rican soil, my heart becomes overwhelmed because I was born there. I connect with that land. When I landed in Israel, I connected with that land. I mean, it's whether we like it or not, whether we want to deny it, Israel is our homeland. If we serve a Jewish God, that's his home, that's our home. When a lot of people want to run away from that, then they don't want to embrace it. If you don't embrace it, you're denying who you are. You're denying your Father. You'd be the same person that denied Jesus. I hate to say it like that, but the reality is that we have to embrace Jesus. We have to embrace his land. We have to embrace his home. Let's see what else I have, and then I think that's it. Bill was amazing with shofar. They told him to put it away a couple times, but he was amazing. And, oh, that's not mine. Okay. But anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for the support, and thank you for the prayers. And next year in Jerusalem, right?
So, one last thing. I was told not to go. It's so bad over there. How are you going to go? Have you seen the news? But the same people that said, don't go, one of them was my mom. She's going in May. So, there's a lot of naysayers, but, we're called. So we need to go.
I'm going to just leave you with Genesis 3:29. If ye be in Christ, then ye are Abraham's seed, heirs according to the promise.